March Madness was back in action Thursday night with the Sweet 16 games tipping off. Iowa advanced to the Elite Eight. Go Hawks, led by first-year coach Ben McCollum. They'll play Illinois, who knocked out Houston. Purdue is in the Elite Eight with a dramatic win over Texas, and number one seed Arizona took care of business against Arkansas. For a look at these games and what's ahead, here's CBS News Bay Area sports director Vern Glenn.
The NCAA tournament picked back up on Thursday with 4 teams securing their spot in the Elite Eight. Let's start in the South region. Iowa, the number 9 seed, kept the run going with a win over Nebraska. The Hawkeyes advanced to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1987. They'll play another Big Ten rival on Saturday. Illinois beat Houston 65-55. And out west, Purdue beat Texas on a last-second putback. They'll play top seed Arizona. The Cats blew out Arkansas. Let's look at a couple of Friday's matchups, beginning with the East region. Top seed Duke takes on St. John's. Here's a fun stat. Duke has won 5 national titles. Each of those runs has included a win over the Johnnies in the tournament. And over in the Midwest region, top seed Michigan plays Alabama. And expect this one to be high scoring. The Wolverines averaged 98 points in their 2 wins last week, while Bama scored 90 in back-to-back games. So, who will continue their climb up Bracket Mountain and move one step closer to the Final Four? The madness resumes Friday night.
It's heating up, Vern Glenn. Thank you so much. And for more now, let's bring in Rocco Miller. Rocco is a college basketball analyst and bracketologist. Rocco, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your insight. We have a couple big games tonight. So let's start with the overall number 1 seed. Duke has some injuries. Their start point guard is a game time decision, but they're taking on a defensive 5 seed in St. John's. So what are you looking for in that game?
Tom, great to be back on with you. Yeah, we have a tremendous matchup out in Washington, D.C. between St. John's, who is playing their best basketball of the year, destroying UConn in the Big East championship game, and having a pretty nice week in San Diego, despite a little bit of a sluggish finish against Kansas last week. Did get to D.C., and now you have Duke, who's slowly starting to get healthy. We're watching to see if Caleb Foster will play tonight. It looks like he's going to give it a go, at least in warmups. Make sure to track that as we get closer to tip-off. But I do think Duke's defense is typically the key. They have the best defense in America. It's going to be difficult for St. John's to get to the rim like they prefer to do. And a lot of Duke results come down to officiating. Let's just be honest. So how this game is officiated will go a long ways on if St. John's can get over the hump. There was a huge free throw disparity in Duke's win over TCU in the last round.
Rocco, I also want to point out that we have a heavyweight coaching matchup between the 3rd-seeded Michigan's Tom Izzo and the 2nd-seed Coach Dan Hurley. So which team has the edge in that matchup?
Gosh, that's a great question because there's so much to like about both. Michigan State's been steady Eddie all year long, 27-7, had a pretty strong finish, looked great in the first 2 rounds. Now you have UConn finally starting to get right, had a really nice win over UCLA. Alex Karaban's still part of UConn, and the way that the Huskies have just played in the tournament over the Dan Hurley era, really their only loss was a close one to Florida last year in a game they could have won. Otherwise, they've won 2 NCAA tournaments. It's just such a successful program that I think UConn has a tiny edge, but with Michigan State playing 2 bigs at the same time, they could create some matchup problems. I think we have an excellent matchup. I lean UConn, but I think we have a great game, Tom.
Rocco Miller, we appreciate your time and insight and some bracket tips right there for people who are tuning in. So thank you for that.
Anytime, guys. Good to be on with you, Tom.